Okay, let's get started there, strangers. Oh, it has been a while since I've gotten into this routine, so uh, I say, you know, uh, welcome back. um, Now, obviously, if you're watching this for the very first time, or if you're watching my playlist, then maybe you'll notice the fact that maybe I put on a little bit more facial hair and stuff like that. I took a break from doing these videos, so apologies to anybody that was kind of trying to follow along with me on the Pega Academy, trying to get through the content. Um, but um, a lot of real life problems kind of stem and came up and well, I had to stop streaming for a while. Um, but we need to get back into uh, we need to get back into the swing of this because I still want to try to get the certification myself, so that my job applications can actually have that certification. I have work experience, but I don't have the certification, so that's obviously not going to help me out when I'm looking for another job. So, um, so, but that's a different matter altogether. Um, I've already talked about it already in my little uh, real life blog situation. So we are going to go ahead and move on from there. So, um, if you're, you know, seeing that I'm streaming this on YouTube now, um, this is obviously, you know, you might be coming into this, uh, totally unaware of what I normally do, which is right now or in the past videos, I've been going through the Pega Academy in order to get to the certification for the system architect. Okay. Um, what I should state is that I am not an official trainer. Okay. I am not being endorsed by Pega at all on this. I am not their authorized. I'm not an authorized training partner, so don't consider me as such. I'm trying to work through this myself so that I can eventually get the certifications for the system architect. Now, system architect has it, has a similar certification called business architect, um, but the business architect will not have many of these modules that are after the low code app builder. So I'll cover those when we finish off the low code app builder extended. Um, but when that time comes, but um, I might try for it when uh, to see whether or not I can get the business architect um, certification myself. We'll see. Um, but my main goal is to try to get the system architect, seeing, well, this is more in line with software development, and that's where my focus is. So I'd rather have the software development than the business. But that's my personal choice, obviously. If you align yourself more with the business, then um, welcome to the journey. And I wish you luck on your endeavors on that. So, um, let's get into the low code app builder extended here. And we're going to go ahead and continue our journey from last time, which, obviously, as you can see, I've already kind of completed quite a bit, going through, um, a good majority of content already. So it looks like we last left off at attaching PDF files to a case. So let's go ahead and get into that. Now, more often than not, these challenges tend to take the good majority of my time on these videos. So um, I encourage anybody that wants to, um, try to tackle um, these challenges, these modules yourself. Come back, maybe watch what I do, see if there's like maybe something that I do different. But I'm gonna try to do, I'm gonna try to follow their exact steps. And what I've done in the past is that if there's a step that they, tell me to do that doesn't match with the outcome that they state, I will let Pega know about it. So because obviously um, that's confusing to anybody that is trying to tackle getting the certification. So um, I want to help others, you know, in the future not be as confused. Um, I've already had some issues with past modules, um, and some confusion on my part. You're welcome to check out that playlist that I've already have with Pega. Check out those videos. If you like are a trainer or you are well advanced in Pega, I welcome you to go back on those videos and maybe answer my questions that I've had. I would appreciate it myself. And if you answer my questions, then you might be helping out someone else as well, because they might have the exact same question. So, um, if you have a question yourself on those videos, feel free to ask because, I might have the answer or I might be able to find the answer for you. So don't be afraid to ask questions because, um, you know, uh, so, you might have an individual that would be willing to answer that question, and not only will it help yourself, but you have the potential of helping out others as well. So, um, so yeah. Okay. So attaching PDF files to a case. Okay. So S Corp wants to ensure that customers receive an email with a receipt of services, including a breakdown of the services provided. Add two automations, create PDF and send email to the service case type to send an email to customers with the service total and an attachment with the breakdown of the service charges. The following table provides credentials, blah, blah, blah. So let's go ahead and initiate the Pega instance there. Obviously, it'll take a little bit of time. Now, if you get stuck on this challenge, then go ahead and go through the challenge walkthrough. I've had to do it myself because there were times where, um, you know, the information that they provided wasn't very clear, and or I didn't really remember exactly what they were kind of referring to. So um, I'm kind of at a disadvantage right at this moment in time because I took some time off from studying this, so I'm a little rusty right at this point. So, um, but it shouldn't be that bad. I should be able to kind of get through these challenges fairly easily. So, um, but I won't be normally walking through these videos at all. So if you get stuck, feel free to use it. But The idea is that these detailed tasks should provide you enough steps and clarity to handle these challenges. They're meant to kind of help you practice, um, how to go about, you know, sending PDFs and emails automatically. Um, so I recommend uh, uh, doing that more. Continue to um, repeat the process so that um, you'll have um, better understanding, um, and as you progress along, and obviously use past challenges as well to kind of enhance, because this Pega instance you can pretty much use it for anything really. Use it as your own personal um, temporary workbench. So, okay. Hmm. It doesn't seem to be wanting to open up another instance right at this moment in time. I'm not quite sure exactly why. Hold on a second. Let me go to webcam here because I don't necessarily want to be showing any sensitive information. Um, no, that's no problems there. Okay, there it goes. I was about to say, I'm like, why isn't it activating? Okay, take the username, take the password. There we go. Okay, um, so the first process here is in the navigation pane of the App Studio, click Case Type Service to open the case. So obviously it will take a while to load into the instance. Um, I've kind of mentioned this in the past that the um, load times um, for this program have been and are typically quite long. So you'll have to you'll have to be used to that. You know, the only time that when it's really super fast is if you actually put it on your own personal computer, but the size of Pega is pretty large overall because there's a lot of content within the application. So, and plus, um, seeing that you're most likely going to be working, with a team anyway, they'll most likely have their own personal servers that you need to kind of connect to and do work anyway. Um, so just kind of be aware that the amount of the load times for Pega um, can be a little problematic. So okay, I'm gonna wait for it to finish the loading. There we go. Okay, so we're going to go to case types, and then we're going to go to service. Yes, that's what they wanted here. To open the case. In the service stage, click the step More Automations, Create PDF, and select to add a Create PDF automation. Okay, so we're looking for the service stage. Um, we're looking at, we're going to be going to the side panel here to look at the step. So, um, there we go. Oh, right. Right, step more. So we want to do that. We want to do more. We're wanting to do automations, create PDF, and then select. Okay, so that's been added as an extra step on there. Click the create PDF step and then enter create PDF receipt as the step name. So there we go. And the contextual pane, that's this part over here. In the select view list, select services. So over here, we want to select the view, and we want to do select services. So in the PDF name field, enter receipt of services. So bear in mind, as you can tell, these are flagged as required. So don't skip out on that, because you will, it will notify you that you are going to need to fill those in order to save. So in the attachment category, select document and then click save. So here we want document, and then after all that is taken care of, then we just click on save. And that should be good. We should be able to like test this part out after it's done saving. Now, obviously, if you have nothing, it's always going to default here in the select view. So typically, you won't have any kind of issues, um, as to like, hey, this is required. Well, it will have something selected for you no matter what. Now, it might not be what you need, but, it'll have something selected for you, right? But if your PDF name is completely blank, there you go. So, yeah, I'll go ahead and save it again just in case, But that might have actually saved two different, doing that might have actually did two different instances of the same thing. Pega can be weird that way. So, but that's in like the database, you know, um, in the, you know, if you do like, the explore data, or you go into data, for example, then, then you might be able to kind of find that there might be like two different receipt of services or something along those lines. Um, it's just how Pega is. So just kind of be aware. Okay. So we've completed step one here. Now we need to go on to step two. Attach attach customer email to the case. Okay. So in the service stage, click step more automation, send email, and select. Okay. So we're staying in the same state, and same service stage. We're going to create an automation here. So we're going to be doing more. We're going to be doing automation. What was it? It was send email and then select. Yeah, the send an email automation. Click the send email step and then enter send receipt to customer to name the step. So there we go. So now we have our, um, we have it named. And obviously, you can name it however you want to. Um, you know, the try to make sure to keep it, relatively descriptive based on previous modules that we've already kind of talked about because, um, if you just said, receipt there or something like that, that doesn't really give you, and doesn't really help out anybody like months from now that might come back to this particular case type and and they might not understand what the purpose of that particular step is. So, um, obviously, don't make the entire, um, name here, full on paragraph, but still try to keep it, somewhat descriptive. You know, just, bear that in mind. So, um, okay, so we're going to go into the contextual pane. In the send to list, select participant. Okay, so we already have the send email already selected here. So we're going to be coming on over here to the contextual plane, and we're going to be sending to participant. Now, bear in mind, there's other fields that you can select here. Obviously use the best one, for your purpose. But, you know, participant is one that they want to kind of select because, um, you know, technically this will be handled by the CSR, so um, well, so far it's meant to be the CSR. So um, who's going to have access to the portal for this. So um, so yeah. Um, in the second to list, select customer. So um, so basically, the send to will be sending an email to not only the participant of the process here, but it will also send an email off to the customer. So not only the CSR in this particular case is going to, they're the participant, they're going to be getting that email, but the customer that, they've already, entered in information for and the like, that customer will also be receiving that email as well. So um, the system architect configured the customer to participant to contain the appropriate email information. So um, so this has already been kind of done for us. Um, personally, I would have said, hey, let us do that. Let us build the customer. That would have kind of reinforced, the um, our past, working of the um, everything that we've done previously, kind of thing. Reinforce that, but um, they want to try to keep these challenges very short and to the point, which is good in that they're very focused. You know, you don't have a lot of like extra fluff to it. It allows you to kind of understand, what the purpose of the challenge is all about. You're focusing on sending emails, sending PDFs. That's it. That's all that they're talking about. But, for those of us like myself that tends to learn more by, repeating steps over and over and over again, um, I tend to appreciate when, I can actually do this kind of job, myself. So it's one of the reasons why I say, um, use this instance as a possibility of building these, you know, creating your own service stage, creating your own participant, customer, so on and so forth, and fill that in. So, kind of do your own thing. Use the instance to your advantage on that. So, in the subject field, enter receipt of services. Click Compose to begin writing the email message. In the Compose message window, enter the following message. There we go. Click the Insert Property icon to select a property from a list. So we're going to do the Compose. We're going to place our message here, and they are mentioning the fact of doing the insert property, in order to get um, the services total in. So all right, so that should do. Okay. Now you want to do the insert property, just just to remind people. Okay. The way I have it here on just doing a copy and paste, it will just copy the text of this. It won't actually insert the property. You have to do this insert property here in order for Pega to understand, this is what you want to have added in. So, um, if you don't do that, then it doesn't work. It'll just copy the text of it, not the contents that you're looking for. So, um, one would think that it should recognize the fact that the um, the fact that they have the text arranged in a certain fashion, you would think that that would kind of trigger the Pega to understand that the message is trying to include that particular property, but for some reason it doesn't really work out in that way. So you're gonna want to do yourself a favor and click that insert property. So um, so we've already clicked done to complete the message, so we're good there. Okay, and of course the message preview is going to show show it there, obviously without any kind of formatting or anything along those lines. So don't worry too much about that. But um, um, it's just kind of showing you like an overview of uh, a little bit of the message composed. Okay, it won't show you the full message. So if like you're having like paragraphs upon paragraphs here within the compose, it won't show all that. So just bear that in mind. So you're gonna have to click compose again to view it all. So in the contextual pane, select the include attachments checkbox to add attachments to the email. Click choose attachments to include only specific case attachments. Okay, so um, include attachments. Um, we want to do the choose attachments. In the first drop-down list, select a category to choose uh, an attachment category. In the second drop-down list, select document as the attachment type. So category and document. Then we click save. And then we go into, confirming, testing everything out. So first we do the save, and then they want us to do a save and run. So obviously it takes a little bit of time to kind of go through the process of it, starting, you know, starting one of these up. So be patient, you know, especially, if you're going through the Pega servers, with their instance, or if you're going in at work, okay, um, it might take a little bit of time. So be patient. Don't don't worry. Don't rush too much. Don't stress about needing to rush this all that much. Okay. Um, okay. In the list of services, in one of the quantity fields, enter a value to ensure that the services total is correct. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and kind of follow, what they are doing here to kind of make sure that it's matching up, exactly as they have. So, we're adding 2 there and adding 2 there. So, this is 200, this is 50, and that should be an exact match, including the 250 there at the very bottom. So there we go. We're looking good so far, right? Click submit to change the service case to the resolved completed status. Click actions refresh to refresh the page. So we click submit. Resolved completed. And then they want us to do actions and refresh. That's because we have attachments. Okay. Just if you if you want to rewind the video, a couple seconds ago, this was actually 0, prior to the refresh. Okay, there wasn't anything there. Um, so just kind of bear that in mind that if you didn't do the action refresh, you wouldn't have seen the attachments that were over there. Okay, even though technically they were still there, um, the um, it wasn't showing it. So why it doesn't do an automatic refresh, I don't know. You'll have to ask. Oh, pardon me, folks. No worries. Well, I mean, they. I don't actually have the Discord. Um, no one actually heard you personally on the stream, but yeah. So that's even worse because, um, you know the, um, I don't have any sound because the my headset turns off if there's no incoming sound, right? So what I have to do is I have to turn on some music to kind of keep uh, a input, into my headset to kind of keep it active. But obviously I can't play that, copyright being a thing, right? So so I have to mute the headset audio. So the fact that you came in, everybody's going to be like looking at me going, what just happened? So, all right. Um, but yeah, no worries there, Gabe. No worries. Um, you know, I appreciate you stopping on by. Um, uh, stick around. You know, I need to finish off this anyway. So, um, once I'm done with this, then um, we'll talk more then. Sounds good? Okay. See you in a bit. All right. No worries, man. I already explained. No need to say more. So, okay. Let's see. Click submit to change the service case to resolve completed status, which we've already done. Click the action refresh to refresh the page. Done. So in the final case view in the files and documents section, verify the receipt of services PDF and the receipt of services email are attached to the case. So if we open up our window here, you'll notice that the receipt of services email and receipt of services PDF have been attached. So, so they're exact. It is it the exact right ordering? Yeah, it looks that way. I'm checking to see if there's any kind of like major differences between the two, but it doesn't really look that way. Obviously, they'll have the 2 minutes, 1 minute, whatever details there, but that's neither here nor there. Now, if Now, if create this and suddenly you have like the receipt of services 1 minute ago and the receipt of services PDF 30 minutes ago, then that would be a little bit of a concern, I would imagine, especially if you just did this 1 minute ago. But, you know, hopefully you won't encounter anything along those lines. I've never seen anything like that happen before, so hopefully you won't have that kind of issue. But, you know, hard to say. Okay, so click receipt of services to open the email. Um, yeah, I really should kind of maybe rename have different names for the email and PDF there, but whatever. Um, so that you don't have any like confusion between the PDF and the email. So, like um, the email would have receipt of services and the PDF could be services receipt or something like that. Whatever. But um, click the receipt of services to open an email, then click receipt of services PDF PX document to open the receipt of services PDF attachment. Um, Now, are they? Oop, apparently it blocked the pop-up. Um, there we go. Now, it's not. You guys aren't seeing that right at this moment in time, so let me go ahead and try to switch on over to that particular window here. Hold on a second. Uh, that one. Okay. So as you can see from this, here's the email. Here's the current date and timestamp. You have the from, which is set up as default at pegasample.com. Obviously, you can change that to your own personal or whatnot, or you can have that um, set up for um, some other from address. Then of course you have the customer at example.com. That would be the customer, like a Gmail account or something like that. Whatever. You know, like I mentioned before, the customer was already kind of created, so there you go. You have the subject line of receipt of services. You have the uh, dear customer, the total service charge billed for provided services is $250. Notice how they changed the um, the code, the um, what's the variable that was there with the value that was selected within the form itself. So because we you know did an amount of $250, that's um, that's what was kind of given. So and then of course you have the PDF, which should open up a PDF document. Although right now it doesn't seem to be wanting to do that for me right at this point. Oh no, it's creating the downloads up down below there. I missed that. Um, and that should um, okay. Let me It's not really showing that to you, so let me switch on over to that one. There we go. And as you can see, you have the receipt of this as well, showing, the amounts, um, the quantity, the totals for each of the rows, and then of course the services total down at the very bottom. They had an extra page here for some unknown reason, but it is what it is. Um, Obviously, if it was, if you were working on this yourself, then I would suggest that you might want to go into this and um, maybe rearrange things to make it look prettier instead of having line total there being obscured, having the amounts being um, quite problematic there. Um, you know, like if I was working on this myself, I'd say, reduce down the size of the unit cost column because there's plenty of white space here that is not being used whatsoever. Um, you know, uh, you can see that the service column here has already been kind of pushed enough to the point where, it already has some word wrap there. Um, Now, the quantity, you'll have to kind of question how much, what's the maximum you're going to want for that. Um, you know, Maybe test out the amount there, you know, put in a very large number and see, how much it can handle. And so, you know, maybe, um, well, okay, let me put it this way. Um, a customer most most likely will not be purchasing millions of tire replacements. So maybe take that into consideration, you know, that a customer won't be needing millions of battery chargers or millions of tow vehicles, millions of gasoline, so on and so forth. This is, the amount of space that they have here for quantity could probably greatly be reduced as well in terms of just overall, viewing of this particular page. You know, you're gonna want to have um, someone handle the graphics of this, the look and feel of it, um, or that might actually be you, the system architect. Um, more often than not, it should probably be falling more towards the business analyst to make sure that the it looks the way they want it to look. Um, and if I'm not mistaken, business analyst does have that capability of doing that. Um, but just bear that in mind. If you have no business analyst that's trying to work on this, then you yourself, as a system architect, is going to have to do it. So, uh, to me, this looks messy. This looks unprofessional. I wouldn't want to give it to a customer. Um, it has no, it doesn't even show the company logo or anything along those lines. It's like, this is, you know, but bear in mind, this is an example. This is an example that Pega, provided. So we're gonna have to, just, let that kind of go because obviously, um, we're not looking at like professional quality here. They're just wanting us to learn the basics. So, um, So yeah, we don't need to worry about that anymore. I can go ahead and close out the view email because um, we've already you know clicked to open the email. We clicked to open up the PDF document. I don't know why they have PX document there. Um, um, what I would be a little concerned about, if if I was kind of wondering about this, is um, would this entire link here to the PDF to open up the PDF in within the email, is it showing this full text, or is it only showing the MPX document within Pega? If it's only showing the PX document within Pega, then obviously there's no problems. But if all of this is showing up in the email, then this might confuse the customer, you know. So I don't know what's going on there. You'll probably want to, you might want to test out like your own email. Get that email, get that test email, check to see whether or not the PDF has that PX document in there. Because if it does, then you might need to look into ways of trying to remove that. Because, like I said, a customer is going to look at that and go, "What the hell is this PX document doing there?" So, so don't have that happen. So, and of course, they have the details here, the default, the customer, receipt of services, the attached file, details there, and then of course um, the look of the receipt again. So um, now, obviously, probably due to the fact that I had my window wasn't like full screen or something like that. That's probably the reason why I had a very, crunched um, spacing for the most part. Um, but for those of you that are, have that are kind of looking at this as, a proper receipt, something that will be sent off to other customers, then you might want to bear that in mind um, that the shrinking of the window might make the quality of the content look very poor. So you'll have to kind of consider that, you know. But we're pretty much done, so we're just going to go ahead and verify the challenge, make sure that everything passes, which it did. So we're all done here. So obviously, like I mentioned before, go ahead and use the instance to kind of do what you want to mess around with it, add more tasks, case types, add more stages, put in more for the PDFs, more for the emails, test out the emails more, um, do more for the participant and the customer, create um, more there, you know, have like proper emails and see if it actually works, see if it actually reaches out to those email accounts. Um, verify, what you receive in the PDF. You know, uh, would you receive the PDF? How the email looks, so on and so forth. So go ahead and check that out, and there you go. So, but that's it. That's where we're going to go ahead and stop this particular tutorial, or this particular challenge. Um, the next one, what we're going to be tackling tomorrow, um, is going to be, let's see, creating a child case. Now, the creating a child case is set to 15 minutes, so we might be able to kind of get through both, the module tomorrow and get into the child case as well. We'll see. But for the time being, um, that's this little hour session is done. I'll go ahead and close it down. Um, and I want to thank everybody for um, joining me on this particular Pega study session. So, um, okay. So, yep, that's it. So take care. Thank you for watching on that. And stubborn.